welcome back to Blue Caffeinate with Books. Now, I have been dying to attend one of the Bookish events ever since I came back, and when I got to know that Penguin India is actually hosting one of the events in collaboration with Delhi Reads, I thought why not attend it. I actually registered for both the phases of the event, but then I couldn't make it to the first phase because of some timing and other commitments that I had. So, anyways, I got to know everything that happened there and what else happened here, and I'm going to update you all with it. And of course, everything that I got, I'll be discussing that as well. Now, in the phase one, which was I think hosted in Lodi Gardens, there were certain activities and a lot of interaction between the different reader groups that have been there. They did some group reading sessions, some other activities, few competitions, there were few winners, and it was overall a very interactive session that they had there. And if you have already seen the pics over there, oh my god, that was a huge crowd to look at. Without any further ado, let's quickly jump into the video. Now, talking about the phase 2, which I actually attended, was hosted in Costa Coffee in the Khan Market area, and that too was crowded. Like the queue was literally 2 floors from bottom to top, and then there were some other people who were queuing down the lanes of the market as well. Thankfully, I was there on the first floor, so I did get a chance to peek through the initial phases. And on the last side as well, we did a second round to go there. So it was overall pretty happening event for sure. And I did pick up a few merchandise that they had to offer. So it was basically marketed as you pick up a merchandise by Penguin India and then you get to pick as many free books as you can carry. But there is always a catch, and the catch was that the merchandise needs to be of 1K roundabout in total. So I got these two things, and then you could pick up the books. Now, while I show you these, I thought you could simply just pick up as many books as you can carry, like they listed. But no, there was a top limit to it, which I think I understand because otherwise, few people would simply carry so many, and the rest of us won't get anything. So there was a benchmark of up to 8 books you can carry out with you on a merchandise selection of 1K. So the first thing that I got in the merchandise section was this cute little tote bag. It actually says "Read, Inhale, Grow," and I would say that the tote bag collection was really good. There were really good captions printed out on each one of these, and I simply pre-selected the captions that I would probably be picking in different formats. So all the tote bags, the diaries, the small ones and the bigger ones, which is actually my second merchandise that I picked, all had similar quotes. So this is the second diary that I picked, and it is actually lined from inside and pretty small, just comparing it to my face. So these are the two things that I got from merchandise perspective that were in there. And since I went there with my husband, I got to pick 2 more merchandises that we actually gifted to someone. And therefore, we got to pick up to 16 books. Now, his and my taste in reading is slightly different. I'm more kind of a fiction, fantasy, and occasionally non-fiction kind of a girl, whereas he's morely tuned towards business strategies and those sorts of non-fiction books. And of course, there were some children books as well that we simply could not stop from picking because they were really cute. So I'm going to start off with those. The first one that I personally picked was Nick Lake and the Remarkables. This seems like a middle grade story to me, and I thought let's actually unbox the plastic wrap as well that's there in front of you guys. At least this is something that I can do because, why not? Okay, the page quality seems fine. There is some particular designing work up here, if you can see, and otherwise, apart from the thing that it's a middle grade, I had absolutely no idea what this book is about. But since it's a grade, and I think I'm always craving some middle grade amongst my heavy reads, so this should be a great pick. That was the first book. The next book, actually, my husband picked, which is High Output Management by Andrew S. Groove. So this is his pick. You can already say by the titles, I think, what are the books that I personally picked and what are the books that he picked. Next pick, Percy Jackson. This is the book 4. I was actually aiming to get the whole collection, but since there were so many people out there and they were actually releasing people in batches, okay, so maybe 5 to 8 people who have procured the merchandise, they will go in and have a pick of selection. I'll talk about the pros and cons later, otherwise, I'll just forget about mentioning the book haul, but I will get back to you on that. So, getting back to the Percy Jackson book 4, I only was able to pick up book 4 because the other parts were picked up by someone else just before me. And it wasn't like they had a complete series laid out, they were taking out random boxes, and there were random books coming out of those. So, that being said, I had my next pick as Their Wishes Games, 12 Girls, 3 Rounds, A Prize to Die For, which looked like sort of a thriller, sort of a fantasy name in the title, and that snake is really charming, so I thought, why not pick this up? Also, the back is really short, so I'll probably read that out to you. Edgewater Academy is a school for very rich and very powerful. Edina Walker is neither of those things. Alone and outcast, when she gets into a fight with a fellow student and a former friend, her scholarship to a top college is revoked and her world falls apart. Until she's invited to finish annual games for the brightest and the best, hosted by the Power family, the Remingtons. The winning prize for the finish is everything Edina wants. Looks like a dark academia sort of a thing, something around thriller, and we'll see how this goes. That I picked up was Stuart Little. Yes, it's the same Stuart Little. I think the kids collection was somewhat better, or at least at my turn, it was better. And good thing is, it's also illustrated in the middle, which is really something I crave for. I always enjoy illustrated books way more than simply the normal printed ones. Call me a child, call me a toddler, whatever you want, but that's just something that I enjoy in my books, and so I had to pick this up as well. Then somebody picked up a really good non-fiction collection of these two books that I'm going to unwrap just right now. So, or should I, or shouldn't I? I think I should. So this is the Charles Duff collection of two books. The first one is The Power of Habit. The other one is Smarter, Faster, Better. Okay. So you will see a combination of middle grade, fantasy, thriller, all sorts of books. The box was in very good condition. So that's a yay. The Smarter, Faster, Better. This is book one. The second one is The Power of Habit. This seemed like something around atomic habits kind of a criteria. I think I'll probably read The Power of Habit, but this one I'm not too sure. Nevertheless, they both will go inside the box, hopefully without creating any kind of pick or turn or fold into them, because I really, really want them to be in the perfect conditions as they arrived and they fit in inside. Next one that I have is a 10 minutes bedtime story about Little Unicorn's Christmas. This one I picked up for two reasons. One, it was obviously really beautiful from inside. It's a flip through book for children. Secondly, for my PMI readathon, I was actually looking for a book that actually had Christmas in the title, and I literally had no book that said Christmas in the title. So I think just to simply pick up the prompt, I picked it up and it's so cute and beautiful from the inside. Why would someone not want it? So I just picked that up. Coming on to the next book, it is My Little Sick Handbook. It talks about stories about sick people and a lot of other information that I personally wanted to grab because my other half is well educated in this domain while I'm not so well educated. So I thought it's better to start off like children as well on this topic. Now, next up is a sort of a development come non-fiction book which is Become an App Inventor, and it's also illustrated pretty well, and this is some sort of a knowledge kind of a book that obviously my hubby picked up because of his interest areas, and I think I'll give this a try as well because it kind of looks interesting, right? The next book that I have is The Digital Transformation Roadmap. Now this is something that I picked. Yeah, shocker alert, I picked a non-fiction because this actually somehow correlated with the work that I used to do in past, and I thought let's check out what's really happening in the digital transformation world Plus, it was a hardcover, and you know I'm a sucker for hardcover, so why not? That now the next book was literally on my wish list for I think 3 years, 4 years, 3 years at least now. And actually, I even won this book, the first part of this book, in a giveaway. Sadly, that never came or wasn't delivered, got lost in transit. I don't know what really happened to that package. But, anyways, I never got it. And when I saw this, this is the second book in the Sapiens trilogy, which is by Yuval Noah Harari, and he recently came to Mumbai as well for an event. They met Amir Khan, and lots of big stuff was basically happening. And I was immediately reminded that I'm yet to read this in the graphic illustrated version, and I actually got the graphic illustrated version of this book to pick up. And when I saw this book, I was like, this is the best thing that I've picked up in all the books that I've seen. This book is sort of a random pick because we had to pick an eighth book, and rest of the books were simply not the kind of books that we would ever want to read. This still seemed interesting, so I just picked up What's the Point of Science? How to Save Millions of Lives, How to Defy Gravity, Can You See the Past, Will It Rain Tomorrow, and sort of random questions that people ask, and it sort of answers those. So, kind of an educational book that I also picked up. See what all things we are picking up. Then there was this hardcover book which talks about STEM words and how basically children can increase their vocab in this particular domain. So, it talks about 1000 words in these categories, and it further categorizes them into different domains, such as this one talks about solar system. So, it will give you different vocabs around the planets, their names, etc. And next, I have something in related to one of my favorite classics, which was The Diary of Anne Frank. I read it, I saw sort of an animated movie on it, and I was really fascinated by that whole concept. And when I saw this title, Where is Anne Frank? I thought I have to pick this up. I can't let go because one, it is just something additional in the same domain and that I would probably love to explore. Plus, it's like totally graphic novel sort. So obviously I had to pick this up. Very happy with this one. And for my final book, I have another ones of these hardcover books that are beautifully illustrated from the inside, and this one actually talks about life cycles of different things, plants, animals, anything that you can probably think about from start to finish. So I'll just show you one example. Let's say talking about stones, amoeba. Oh, this one looks great. So this is how it will give you insights about literally the life cycle of anything, animal, plants, asteroids, stones in the galaxy, anything and everything. So this was my one final pick, and it's pretty heavy, and obviously so many hardcover books, so many books that I illustrated so beautifully, quite difficult to pick up and show you all together, those 16 books. So I've showed them to you one by one. Before I actually move out and talk with few more things about the events, this is just something that fell out of the tote bag, and it's just a wipe don't wash kind of an instruction and a thank you note from Penguin stating how you actually take care of the bag. So just wanted to show that as well. Anyways, now talking about the event, I think there were a few pros and cons. Pros, obviously, you get to pick out of random collection so many books, but it was sort of a luck based thing as well because you never know which box will be opened at your turn and whether a box will be opened or not as well. Because sometimes what was happening is they would open a box just before you went in. So, obviously, in your round, there wouldn't be a box opening session kind of a thing, and you will simply have to pick up from the books that are laid in front of you, and there will be just a selected set of batch, one box for one batch, let's say, and you will have to pick. And that too, because there are so many members, there are high chances that someone else will pick up something that you want, or you simply wouldn't get anything to pick from the collection of books that you have. One such thing happened with me was regarding the Iranian the Dragon Story trilogy. It came in two batches in front of me, and I still wasn't able to pick up even a single. Obviously, it was a little disheartening, and that is why when I saw the fourth part of Percy Jackson only lying around, I thought I'll pick this up. I'll not think about grabbing the whole series or anything. Just it was like it's your luck and grab what you can sort of a situation. So you just grab the best ones that you could find at your turn and then just move out of the lane because there was a huge queue. Like it was done on the second floor and right from the ground there were queue for the whole stairs for the two floor. And the first floor was obviously reserved for other customers and sort of a thing for the cafe, but otherwise it was pretty crowded. We stood in line for almost 40 minutes or something, and then you have to pick up, take your collection, and just move out. It was overall an 1 hour of standing process, which was a little tiring, but because I got so many books, I think it was well made up for, and especially after spotting Sapiens, a brief history of humans, I think it just made my day, and I was really happy at the end of it. And that, my friends, was everything that I wanted to show to you in the little or big book haul. You can decide what to call this. For me, 16 books are pretty huge deal, especially collecting on the merchandise. We did pay for them in a sort of irregular manner, considering the merchandise and everything, but still happy with all the books that I've got. At least most of them. We'll see about a few non-fictions how they turn out. Let me know in the comments down below if given a chance, would you like to attend such an event? And if so, probably I think you should stay tuned to the book publishing pages and also to the what do you call it, book clubs, cafes, event organizers in your own cities, because at least for the multinational places or even for the metro cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, even Kolkata for that matter, there are certain book clubs who keep organizing such sessions in collaboration with different publishers. I think you, if given a chance, you would enjoy it too. That's enough blabbering from my side. I'll take your leave and catch up with you in my next video. Until then, keep your coffee strong and your TBS long because winter has already come. Goodbye.